fire against one of the best Zerg in the world. Alright. Let's get ready for game 2, shall we? Really nice play there by Axlav there. Extremely impressive. Keeps his expanding up. And is able to push his opponent gradually. A lot of good harassment there. So good, in fact, I missed a couple of those drops. He's really good at multitasking when it comes to engaging and then dropping at the same time. Alright, let's get into the next game, shall we? Alright, next match is on the Antigua shipyard. Are you ready? I certainly am, because here we go. Alright, folks. Welcome to Showcraft. If you've just tuned in, the Starcraft 2 variety show. I bring you Stefano. He is in the pink trunks, playing for Team Millennium, down to the south of this map, which is Antigua shipyard, versus his opponent Axlav, also known as Glad He Ate Her. Delicious. He's in the blue trunks, and Team Evil Geniuses playing Protoss to the north. Current score is 1 for Axlav, nothing for Stefano. Best of 3 series between these two. Axlav showing some impressive multitasking and harassment there. Seems to be the way to deal with Stefano is just harassment, harassment, harassment. Much as possible. Okay. Let's see what Axlav can pull out in this game. Fairly impressive amount of play from him, honestly. Not impressive amount of talent. Axlav just not really known all that well in Europe, and it's good to see him competing really well. He is playing a good game. Obviously, the EG practice house is helping him out quite a lot there. So, Stefano. Let's see if he goes Extractor first, or... There we go, he's actually going to go Extractor first. It's interesting, perhaps he wants a little bit more early aggression. That lets him get speed out faster. Lets him get a little bit extra map control quicker. The potential to bust here is there, but it's quite a wide ramp, a little bit difficult to defend. I actually saw Idra in the SWC do some pretty crazy things. He was able to bust a forward fast expand with slow lings. It was a bit silly. A little bit of harassment. Annoying the hell out of Stefano. We saw that earlier on the stream. It was a little irritating. Stefano not grabbing his hatchery just yet, of course. It's going to be delayed as a result of grabbing these two. See how many lings he builds, because the amount of lings he builds here is going to be indicative of what he decides to do. If he's going to get really aggressive, he can do a 6-ling extractor trick. 2 lings, a drone is already on its way up, and that queen there. Getting speed quite quickly. He's not going to attempt any kind of bust just yet. 4 lings. See if he follows up with any more. There's no lava available just yet to make that happen. See 1 pop up. 4 lings is not enough, needless to say, to pressure this. You need quite a few more, and looks like we're going to get a nice wall off here. Cannon is in a good position. Now, there's a couple of options you've got here if your opponent's decided to forge fast expand like this. Going with this defense and you're playing Zerg. If you want to hurt him early, you can try and Roach bust it, or you can try and Baneling bust it. Baneling bust is not a terrible idea. And the reason for that is that cannons actually don't have a lot of health. Neither do pylons, but cannons actually have less. You'll see they're 300 health total. It is possible to bust through. Stefano not looking to do that, though. He's only got 4 lings. He's not building a Baneling nest, so he's not really all that interested. He's actually not mining any gas. Notice that. Simply wants to get his economy rolling. He got the 100 gas he needed for speed, and that was really about it. Stefano will use this for scouting. Try and hold on to the map as best he can. Keep plenty of map control. Avoid any kind of early proxy nonsense. However, we've not really seen a lot of that from Axlav, honestly. Axlav's really been into the idea of macro up on 2 bases, then start to poke out at the back of harassment, then take a 3rd. Don't do it so early. It's get a good defense up. Notice Axlav here with this probe. It's in position to quickly build something to block this off. He can complete the wall off if need be. He's also got a sentry coming up to assist with that. Not too difficult. The cannon is a vulnerability, though. I have to wonder if Axlav will actually try and build... He can't build there. I don't think there's enough space. I just have the feeling that cannon might be a bad thing. When we're seeing versus Mana, for instance, Stefano versus Mana, he actually died, in my opinion, due to the positioning of a cannon being a weak point in his build. Because it's so easy to bust cannons. You might think, oh, it's a nice defensive structure. Yes, but they're actually really weak. Like, compare the HP of a cannon to the HP of an assimilator. Assimilator's got 900 health. The cannon has 300. The gateway has 1,000. They're not designed for taking a lot of punishment. In fact, they actually are the weakest defensive unit in the game in terms of health. So that's a bit of a pain. Bunker has 400 HP. Cannon has 300. And you can repair a bunker. You can't repair a cannon, so it's much more durable. But cannons, of course, can hit everything, so that's nice. And they're detectors, so they make up for it in other areas. Alright, we're going to get some more Phoenix harassment here from Axlav. See how effective that is. There, on the other hand, for Stefano, playing the same kind of build as he went for last time. Roach Warren. Probably going for speed on Roach quickly. He's already grabbed his third, nice and quick there as well. Now, this map's often about control of the middle, particularly if you're playing Terran. Not so much in other race matchups, but still, getting control of the middle allows you to take that and deny your opponent that, or vice versa. Couple of Ling's gonna poke at the front, find out exactly what's going on there. They'll find cannons, and they will find death. Got a robotics facility on the line for Axlav here, too. +1 ground weapons upgrade. Here comes a little bit of Phoenix harassment. A couple of Spore Crawlers coming up to answer that. It's going to be constant Phoenixes out from Axlav at the moment. This is the same kind of build he went for last time, but he skipped the Void Ray, which actually is kind of a sensible idea. The third is pretty close to your opponent here. It's very easy to respond to Void Rays on this map. You can easily join your creep up here, which you've seen that Stefano has done. So responding to that is nice and easy. But what this does do is mean that Stefano's going to be blind for a while. Stefano can't stop these Phoenixes from picking off the Overlords. So all of his map control that he would have otherwise had, he doesn't have it now. Now there's a Spore Crawler in the line right there. So those Phoenixes are not going to be able to do too much at that point. I'll have a look around and see if there's anything vulnerable. Most likely not. Hydra Den on the way up for Stefano again. We saw Hydra's deployed in the last game. Didn't really do a huge amount. There's a quick grab on the drone line. Still poking at it. The question is, what does Axlav transition into here? He's building the same. However, notice that Stefano's grabbed a much earlier Hydra Den. Not only is that allowing him to shut these Phoenixes down, admittedly, you have to get a pretty large number of Hydras to make that happen. If you've got one or two, they're easily grabbed by Phoenixes and killed. But what it does do is also give him the means to shut down Immortals. And Axlav is building those Immortals as well, so this will be a bit more of a standard Roach Hydralist composition. He'll probably continue to do that until his opponent gets a large number of Colossus. What have we got? Nexus now, good solid expansion. Taking the gold for Stefano, a little bit risky, but he's got good creep spread and potential response. You'll see the Hydras there, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot allow Hydras to leave the group. They'll be easily picked off by Phoenixes. Axlav's Phoenix control looking pretty good, able to get out there without a loss. What do we got? Immortal right there for Axlav. He's already got one, building a second. Expecting Roaches, but actually it's going to be primarily Hydra. This good creep spread's going to give him an opportunity to respond nicely as well to any kind of real harassment. Phoenix is moving in once again. Oh, hey! Suddenly Hydralisks. Did he just shoot his own Zergling? There's some kind of traitor over there. Summary execution. This is Commissar Hydralisk right there. You will pick up the gun of the man in front of you. It's more of a German. I don't do Russian very well. I have no Russian accent abilities of any description. Something I need to practice. I'm Bronze League Russian, folks. Robotics Bay coming down. Gonna go for the Colossus. A sensible response to a lot of Hydralisks. Colossus tend to tear Hydras to pieces very rapidly. This is why this Roach Hydra composition does force a specific response from your opponent. Stefano knows that Colossus are on the way, which is why he's building that Spire. He knows the response will be Colossi to Hydras, because Hydras do tend to gut everything else. However, will they get out quick enough? What's the size of the army there? It's pretty equal, honestly, but Stefano does have +1 missile attack upgrade on those Hydras. He's opened up a nice attack path over here. The question is, where does he pressure from? Where's his opponent expecting it? Axlav in a good defensive position. He can easily respond to either. So what does Stefano decides to do here? No Warp Hit Prism harassment or anything like that just yet from Axlav. Been unable to do that. Phoenix is flanking around the side to see if they can pick off a couple more drones or queens. That would be nice. Only 3 queens on the field for Stefano right now. Hasn't grabbed a 4th for his gold just yet. A few Zerglings moving in here and there, just keeping an eye on it. Stefano doesn't want to engage here. That would be a bit messy. There's too many Roaches. I have a feeling that that Roach Hydra force wouldn't do too well. Phoenix is moving around here, trying to grab a few drones. One shut down by more Hydras spawning. 23 Hydras. That's a lot of Hydras. Zoom missile attack upgrade level 2 coming in as well. I have to wonder if he'll try a timing attack with that. He might. See if he can time it correctly in order to strike as that goes in. But I have a feeling he's just going to try and push anyway. That might work, and it's only +1 right here for Axlav, and here we go. Roach is pushing forward, but look at that, good force fields. The majority of the left flank can't get anywhere, and that means this force here is going to end up being crushed. The problem is Stefano just has more units than his opponent. More force fields placed down, and those Immortals ripping those Roaches to pieces. Thrown back there by Axlav. Will we see more pressure coming in from Stefano? No reinforcements coming in there, but a couple of Hydras managing to sneak into the mineral line. Not enough to do any real damage. Stalkers clean it up right there. And Stefano's still with a very, very large Hydra count. However, there is a Colossus there that will be able to rip those to pieces. He knows that. He doesn't have a lot to protect it, however. Second Colossus. No extended thermal lance for the next few seconds. More pressure coming in from Stefano, trying to smash his way through here. Will it be able to do it? It will not. Extended thermal lance is about to complete. Here comes the cleanup. One Colossus brought down by that Corruptor. A second one going down. Pretty damn disastrous. Down it goes. Axlav's forces falling to pieces, however, Stefano doesn't have quite enough to break it. Now, Stefano's had a pretty significant economic advantage up to this point. You can see how much he's mining there. He's been mining on the gold. He's on 83 drones. Phoenix is trying to continue their harassment, but they're not doing so well in that regard. Picking off an Overlord here and there, but look at the kill count on the Phoenixes. Not so great. To take out a couple of units as much as he can. There's a quick lift, and actually no defenses here for Stefano. That's an error. Wants to get a Spore Crawler in that gold mineral line as quickly as possible. Lots of drones being picked off right here by Axlav. Looking very, very nice. This is what he needs to try and equalize. Look at the number of drones that are being slaughtered. Axlav now needing to get out of there simply because of the Hydra count, but you see that Axlav's killed 14 drones in total. The response to Phoenixes, by the way, is to expand. Expand, expand, expand. If you're being harassed by Phoenixes, just build hatcheries. That's the correct response there by Stefano. Stefano maxing out again. Lots of Roaches, 24. Only 2 Colossus on the field, building 2 at a time. If this hits before these 2 Colossi get out, this is going to be devastating. Axlav's going to have to try really hard to hold on to this one. Here comes the big ball of Roaches. Where are those force fields? He doesn't have all that many. Roaches clean up the Colossus over there, and now there's one remaining Colossus in the back is going to have to hold up against all those Roaches, Lings, and Hydras. It's going to be a difficult defense. He needs those Colossus. He knows for a fact they must be there immediately. The Colossus has taken 7 kills already. The Corruptor's continuing to smash away at its armor. So little HP left in it. Needs those Colossus right now. One popping up down there, taking fire. The Corruptor's at the back. The Hydra's barely alive. A defense once again by Axlav. Nicely held. However, those Colossus have been torn to shreds, and I'm not liking this. 13 Hydras to follow up here for Stefano. Good creep highway as well to get right the way to his third. Roach is now charging in. More economic damage being done by Stefano to Axlav. Really, really difficult to hold on at this point with so much harassment coming in. A couple of Corruptors going to try and clean up that Colossus. Need a few more than that, I think, firepower-wise, but that Corruptor count is not going down quickly enough. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh my. This is looking really bad for Axlav now. Loads of expansions here for Stefano. A good economic lead over his opponent. And just continuing to throw unit after unit. Axlav in a really desperate defensive position. Holding on very, very well considering. But his Colossus count isn't high enough. So many more Roaches coming in as well. Yet more Roach Hydra attacks. Striking at it. I don't think he's got the numbers to break this, honestly. Depends if he's able to snipe the Colossus off. Takes down one. Can he take a second? It's not looking so likely now. Focus fire coming in, but more Roaches streaming in, trying to break Axlav at this moment. Does he have the units to make this happen? Very brute force approach here from Stefano. Once again, Axlav holding on, but look at the number of roaches streaming across. Once again, a small contingent moving in another cannon. Cannon collapses almost immediately. Stefano forcing Axlav all the way back into his natural while he has the opportunity to do big damage to this mineral line. Zealots warping in to try and deal with that. They're not really all that well upgraded. More roaches coming in. This is just a simple war of attrition here by Stefano. Creep spread across most of the map here, making this really difficult for Axlav to hold on. Axlav barely mining. That economic line is destroyed. Axlav has barely got anything left in his natural to mine from. This is the swarm, folks. This is the swarm approach. Unit after unit, hammering down, wearing Axlav down as much as he can. 3 Colossus. Really all that's holding him together now. One's taken out immediately by a very aggressive roach push, going all the way in. Can he take the 3rd Colossus? He does. Stefano now breaking his way through the defensive line, and G to the G. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Second game going to Stefano, taking this series up to 1 apiece. We'll be right back really rapidly, folks, with the last game of this best of 3 series. Don't go anywhere. And then, we're going to be casting a user game. Okay, folks, here we go. Game 3 of this series between Axlav and Stefano. I bring you Millennium's own Stefano. He's in the pink trunks playing Zerg to the west of the Metalopolis. In the close-out position, his opponent from Team Evil Geniuses, it is Axlav. He's playing Protoss to the south. Now, what did Axlav do wrong that game? Well, he wasn't able to effectively harass his opponent. Relied too much on Phoenixes. Yes, he was able to do some economic damage, but no big DT plays, no big drops or anything like that. That's the problem. That's the real problem. Stefano is easily able to just build more expansions. The correct response to Phoenix harassment is build more expansions. Get more lava, get more drones, and then just smash your opponent in repeatedly. Well, let's see how this one goes. Happy birthday to Beard, by the way. Being informed that the levels might be slightly too high on the music. That's fixable. You just have to give me a moment here. It's not giving me the appropriate volume mixer. It does make things a bit tricky. Can't fix that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Knock the music down a little bit. That should be alright. Okay, anyway. Let's see what Stefano decides to do here. He's got good information already. He knows that there's a Forge Fast expand on the way. Spawning pool first, followed by Extractor. So no speedlings so early. Maybe a little bit difficult to do any real harassment. But bear in mind, this is Metalopolis. What's the problem with Metalopolis? Surely someone can answer me that. It's not in the ladder pool anymore, so I suppose it's not really all that concerning to most of you. The problem with Metalopolis is how open this area is. You can actually just baneling this area very, very easily. Unlike a lot of other maps, especially like something like Showcraft, it is really hard to hold on to your expansion as Protoss. You can't just spread cannons all over the place, it's too expensive. So, you can get baneling harassment here from the 3rd, going down into this area, smashing that mineral line completely. That's the problem. That's the risk here that Axlav has got to face. Stefano doesn't have speed upgrade just yet. We'll see if it does decide to go for some kind of baneling attack. It is very effective. It's a good choice. You're playing to the map if you go baneling on this one against Protoss. Works pretty well against Terran as well, honestly. Let's see what he decides to do. Only 2 lings on the field at the moment. Going for a macro-orientated approach initially. Doesn't want to throw himself at it just yet. Not far by ground, close by air, so good scouting information has been acquired by Stefano. He's just hanging around there. The wonderful thing about going Forge Fast Expand from the Zerg's point of view in close air position is that this is just going to sit here for a while. Until the Cyber Core comes out, there's no way he can get rid of it. So it's just going to sit there, keeping an eye on things, getting plenty of information. Haven't scouted out that gas just yet. That might be a little bit of useful information. Gonna poke in there, see what he can find. He catches the timing and the probe transfer. Cybernetics Core going down here as well. He knows exactly when that's coming up, so he's got plenty of time to get that Overlord out of the way. Still no sign of any kind of Baneling bust from Stefano yet. Looks like he doesn't want to go for that approach, going all macro all the time. Stefano sitting on 26 drones to 25 probes. Fast expands from both. Overlord just running around the edge. Keeping an eye on things. You can see if there's any really, really early gas there. There is not. Interesting to note that Axlav has decided not to pump the Starcraft first. He knows that he can't kill that Overlord, so he just goes Zealot instead. And have a little bit of a poke at his opponent. Also be able to scout whether or not there's a third, which there is. Loads more drones coming in from Stefano. Completely passive approach here from him. So the question is, I have to ask, where does Axlav go from here? He's going with a bigger gateway pressure approach. 4 gateways up here, 5 gateways. Will this be 6 gate pressure? It will. An interesting approach there. That's a change in tactics. So 6 gate pressure on 2 bases can be very, very effective, especially if your opponent hasn't been massing up an army beforehand. Only 4 lings on the field. Stefano's going to need to scout this, really. He needs to have an idea of what's going on. He could send an Overlord over here. He could sack one to get information on this. It's actually 7 gate pressure. Or is it? Yeah, it is. 7 gate pressure. It's a ton of gateways, folks. And also actively denying the scouting. This really passive approach from Stefano might cost him here. He's going Evolution Chamber thinking, well, got to deal with DTs, fast DT. Also got to deal with the possibility of air. Neither of those is going to happen. It's just going to be a big gateway warping from Axlav. Difficult to deal with. 10 Zerglings now on the way. Stefano doesn't really have any information here. Doesn't know what's behind the Iron Curtain of Axlav. Roach is on the way. Getting up a few Zerglings just to make sure that an attack around this time can be defended against. He's also going to get some scouting information. Get a little bit of early warning. Now, this is where the warp-ins are coming from. This is why this position for Protoss in close air is really nice, because you can warp in here and you're already halfway across the map. A few Zerglings moving in there. He wants to try and surround and eliminate the sentries. Good force field placement. Knocks those back. Another warp-in's going to cause some problems, and you'll notice that Stefano has stopped building drones. He knows there's pressure on the way. There are also warp-ins coming in from this pylon up here. That's the army supply difference. Axlav with a reasonable number of units. Needs to be careful about being caught out of position. Didn't get the early +1. I would have certainly liked to see that. That would have been really useful. 2-shot those Zerglings, but here we go. Can he eliminate this third? That'll put him in a good position. Mostly Zealots, and I have a feeling that Stefano's going to have to give this one up, but you never know. Will there be enough DPS? There certainly will. Down goes that expansion, and another warp to follow that one up. He just needs to fight, and he knows it. Splitting off a couple of roaches there quite nicely. Big fire coming in on the roaches at the front. Few force fields able to divide that up somewhat, but there's more reinforcements streaming in right here for Stefano. Can he get another big warp in? If he can clean this up. He can start to put pressure on the natural. I like the decision by Stefano here to move forward a couple of spine crawlers. In comes that warp in. Does he have enough units to break through? Shame he didn't snipe off that queen. That would have been nice, but right now, forced to move back for the moment. Now, I would love to clean up that proxy pile, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Axlav now moving to perhaps pressure the natural. The spine crawlers need to move back and redeploy. He's not going to risk it. He doesn't want to go for it. Already backing off now. So 7 gateway pressure. He's able to eliminate an expansion. Good position that he's in right now. He's slightly behind in terms of his worker count, but still killing an expo is a good deal. How much did he lose in doing that, though? Not a huge amount, really, compared to his opponent. A lot of resources lost there, and, of course, all of the mining time and the lava and the expansion there. So that's looking pretty good. And Stefano is going to have to get himself back on his feet here. That's the size of his army now. 18 roaches, 18 lings. +1 weapon upgrade up on there as well. Ooh, a nice decision to go Burrow here, considering that he knows his opponent won't have a Robo yet. Whoa, double Robo coming up. If this strikes before that, though, the Burrow's going to make a big difference and cause all sorts of problems. He's able to go in there before the Observer comes out. There's going to really be no reliable method of detection around this area. Alright, here comes the pressure. Does he have enough roaches to clean this up? I don't think so. No, I think that Axlav's got that one without too much of a problem. Look at the creep spread right there. Incredibly annoying. Denying the third here. Axlav's still stuck on 2 bases. He'd love to expand. Double Robo is interesting. I have a feeling that he's going to be trying to pump out double Immortals. There's no sign of a Robotics Bay to follow that up just yet. +1 weapon upgrade now coming in. The answer to that is going to be Hydra and the Spire. Stefano wanting to actively deny the third, putting a lot of roach pressure on this line here. I have a feeling those force fields actually worked against Axlav there. I'm pretty sure they did. He's just lost 2 Stalkers trapped in there with a bunch of Zerglings. Yes, it will be double Immortals. Dangerous, potentially. Very dangerous. Alright. Stefano's going to push forward once again. What does he see? Wonderful things. Enough for defense to hold that back for the moment. Stefano's now going to take a 4th. Warp in over here to try and deny it, but there's not enough Zealots to really do much. He can run through maybe try and assassinate the Queen, but that would really be about it. There you go. More Warpins coming in here. There's the harassment coming in on the mineral line of the 4th, and harassment on the 3rd as well. Not enough to really do all that much. He's going to do some damage, though. If you can take out, say, 6 drones and the Queen, then that'll be worthwhile. Stabby, stabby. Nicely done there by Axlav. He's also cleaned out that mineral line. Good amount of harassment done. Number of workers killed is currently at 5, though, so killing the Queen and a few workers maybe not worthwhile. Finally now cleaning up that proxy pylon. Another expansion for Stefano. This is looking bad for Axlav, simply because he's not able to do enough economic damage to hold his opponent back. He's got to have a really good engagement. He does have a Warp Prism coming up, so he's going to harass after that. Well, Axlav with a good initial amount of pressure, but the response was just to re-expand repeatedly for Stefano. And now playing a little bit too passively. Okay, Warp Prism is out on the field. What can he do with it? Well, normally what you do is you pick up 4 Zealots, and then you'd drop them and warp it another 4 immediately. The question is, where do you do that? He's actually going to follow this up and make this a multi-pronged attack. We're going to try and get some Warp Prism harassment over there on this 5th, or maybe the 4th. I don't think he knows about the 5th yet. He doesn't. Warp Prism's going to get spotted coming in, however. No Gravitic Drive upgrade, so it's not going to get there all that fast. Let's see what response comes in. Big Roach Count, few Hydras there. Immediately moving into position. A couple of Corruptors coming up to try and deal with that Warp Prism. They turn around a little bit slowly. A Warp-in could come in here. No, that's going to be denied. That Warp Prism is basically dead. No speed upgrade means dead Warp Prism, I'm afraid. Speed upgrade is very handy. Corruptors can easily keep up with that. And that's 200 minerals just thrown down the drain right there. Nicely denied there by Stefano. Good bit of defense. Army supply count starting to get a bit scary for Stefano. 111 versus 65. Roach Hydra. His opponent has gone Mass Immortal, backed up by High Templar. It's a decent mix. Not as good as I would have liked. I'd like to see Colossus here, but I don't know. It's going to be a messy engagement for either. Immortals do tend to tear through Roaches. The problem is that Hydras tear through Immortals as well. A lot of fast DPS there. A few more gateways coming up for Axlav, defending his 3rd, but it scares me. Stefano is on 4, 5 mining bases. Axlav on 3. Axlav's actually more mined out here because Stefano has spread around over these bases with his drone count, not fully saturating it there. Grabbing another Warp Prism. Storm on the way. Will be finished by the time this comes in. What's his High Templar count at? It's at 5. Any High Templar warped in now will be of no use. He'll need to turn them into Archons. Here comes the Corruptor Vanguard moving in. And Stefano with a really large force. The question is, will Axlav be able to hold on to that? We're about to find out. There's going to have to be some really good storms here. There go the force fields. The main problem is he used a lot of force fields just to kill 4 Roaches there. It might have looked really good, but actually it wasn't that effective. So Stefano not taking many losses and a lot of energy thrown away there. More storms coming in right there at the back. That is devastating. Hydra's being shredded. Axlav with a really good defense, but the question is, does he have the numbers for it? Yes, he does. Stefano thrown back. Really nice. Now morphing immediately into Archons. No sentries left, however. They were sniped off, so that energy-heavy approach isn't going to work again. Stefano remaxing on Hydras. The mortal count is still at 4. Only lost a single one. There's an Archon or 2 in the mix too. So we're looking at level 2 upgrades on those. A lot of potential damage. Fairly heavy Stalker composition here. Needs to back off just a little bit. Doesn't want to go head-to-head with that. Needs to get the Immortals in. Forcing Stefano back. Stefano taking a 6th base on the goal. Incredibly cheeky move. Harassment coming in here. Warpins attempted, but no real damage done. Stefano, nice defense there, leaving a couple of years to make that happen. This is really good positioning right now for Stefano. An incredible arc of fire, melting his way through the majority of Axlav's forces. Axlav trying to reposition, but look, he's being flanked from the side. There is no escape from this. It's do or die time. Stefano taking significant losses, but Axlav taking more. A simple economic titan play from Stefano. Look at the number of bases he's got mining. Look at how ridiculous this is. And grabbing the gold as well. Axlav stuck on 3. Axlav not able to apply enough harassment, enough early pressure. That was a good surround right there. A really good concave that he had. Whereas Stefano is about to take this base out. It's going to be difficult to stop. See if Axlav can do it. It's going to take some kind of miracle or amazing Blinkstalker micro to make that happen. Oh my! High Templar cut out of position. Circling surround there. The shield's going down on this Templar. No storms available. Oh dear. That's the crushing blow. Stefano takes the 4th. Very little left for Axlav right here, even on his 3rd. Stefano going for the throat. He smells weakness. Those production facilities are going to be torn to shreds. A couple of Immortals trying to hold the line, but there's simply too much Hydra firepower in the back there. Stefano just going all units all the time. GG, ladies and gentlemen. And Stefano takes that series 2 games to 1. Satisfying if you happen to be a Zerg player, I'd have to think. Ouch time. Okay, folks. What's coming up next? It's going to be a viewer cast. We're going to cast a game between 2 viewers. I'm just going to be right back, so enjoy the music. I'm just going to check something quickly with the moderators. It's a little difficult to sort all this out. This is the pilot show, folks, so I'll be back momentarily. Okay. Right. So I've got to come up with a question here. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to pick 2 people from those that are able to get into this channel. It's going to be a random view. It's not going to be the first 2 people that jump in. We're going to fill the channel up, and then we're going to pick 2 people that are about equally matched. It doesn't matter what league they are. It might be a Bronze League cast we do here between the viewers. It could be a Masters League cast. It's going to be a live best-of-1 game. Now, bear in mind, the viewers that play, there is no prize for this, so if you decide to cheese it, then that makes the game very boring. And that means a lot of people will mock you over the internet. So just bear that one in mind. So I am going to set up a channel on EU side. Those who want to play in the 1 versus 1 viewer casted game, you're going to join this channel. And then we shall pick 2 people, and we're going to cast that game. We're going to set it up. We're going to play it on Metalopolis. And we're going to pick it between 2 roughly evenly matched players. So, the name of the channel is the answer to this question. Which Protoss unit does 50 damage per shot to armored units without any upgrades. Which Protoss unit does 50 damage to armored units without upgrades? Alright, I'm going to wait for the channel to fill up. The channel limit is 100, and then we're going to pick 2 people. Channel is filling up very rapidly. I'm going to pick up 2 matched people. One of my moderators is going to help me out here. There we go. The channel is full, folks. The channel is now full. Lol, Randy. Hey, Randy. How are you doing? God, if we could actually find someone to play Randy, that would be really great. I don't know if we have another... The thing is that Randy's like a Master League player. A very highly ranked Master League player. He's one of the best players in the UK. If we could get another Masters League player that's highly ranked to play Randy, that would be brilliant. That would be actually extremely entertaining. Right, we're going to find someone to play against Randy. In a best of 1. Let you know who it is momentarily. We've got a mid-Master League there. Yep. It's going to be Hilo versus Randy. Hilo's a mid-Masters League player. Randy is a high Masters League player. Let's see how this one turns out. This should be fairly entertaining. The thing is, Randy plays Protoss, and he also plays Zerg. Artanis is just going to set this up for us. And then we're going to do it. It's going to be Hilo versus Randy in a best of 1. Randy does play Protoss, so I have to wonder if he'll want to play Protoss. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a ZVZ. After this, we're going to do a subscriber game, and then we're going to do Nexus Wars. This is going to be a very long show for the pilot. We're going to sort of cut it down a little bit, because I can't have 2.5-hour shows every 2 days. That would be a bit silly. Looks like it's going to be on Tal'Darim. Yep, Randy's going to play Protoss, so it's going to be a ZVP between these two. Randy's just closing the stream now. Reno, get out. Nah, Reno can stay. He's cool. Right, Reno's actually not a random obs. I'm fairly sure he's part of Randy's team. Alright. Yeah, if Reno wants to rejoin, he can do that. Randy and Hilo are ready, though, so he's going to have to be pretty quick. There we go. Game is starting, folks. Be a best of 1 between Hilo and Randy, who are actually viewers, by the way, if you hadn't already guessed. Randy is a semi-pro in the UK. Hilo is a mid-masters player. Randy is off-racing as Protoss. But then again, saying he's off-racing isn't really true, because Randy plays both Protoss and Zerg. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen.